check. There it is. I just saw it come in. I just saw it in the Twitters. It just came. Boop.
Wait. It posts for the Undefined?
It does. I have it all set up, Ken. I'm a genius.
No way.
I'm a hacker.
Wow. Do you have your mechanical keyboard?
No, I actually got rid of that thing.
It was a joke about fake hacking.
Got it. Well, anyways, folks, we'll let people join, but welcome to the Undefined podcast. I'm Jared Palmer.
And I'm Ken Wheeler, and today we have the specialists of guests, none other than Mr. Andrew Powell. What's up, Andy?
Oh, Lord. I haven't heard that name in like 20 years, bro.
What, Andy?
Mm-hmm.
Somebody just asked, is that a real background, Jared?
Yes, it is a very real background.
Look at this masterpiece theater-ass motherfucker.
Hello, it's me with a book.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's so sick.
It's
You
real.
just hang out in that room full of your dad's Illuminati shit.
Where's
Right?
your
Right?
jacket?
Right? Actually, though.
Shouldn't you have a cravat and like a pipe?
Oh, yeah, I should.
Is that one of those weird like ties that's like circular and shit?
And
No.
it's poofy.
Oh, like a yeah, that'd be sweet. That'd be amazing.
So you are, if people don't know Andrew Powell right off the bat, you're Shellscape on Twitter.
Yes, sir.
Can you tell the folks what you do? What do you do?
Mostly I just pretend that I know what I'm doing, and people pay me for it. It's amazing.
Me and him both.
I'm a Node guy right now. I write a lot of back-end code, all web-based, and for the most part, GraphQL. A lot of serverless stuff right now. But
Were you always a backend guy?
no, I've been keeping my grubby nubs out of the front end now for about 5-6 years. But
Jeez.
no, I started, dude. I come full circle, man. I started writing programs on AOL back in the day.
Whoa, throwback.
Yeah, man. I'm old. I'm very old.
How old?
I'm going to be 42.
Yowza, that's old.
I know. It's bananas. No, but I started doing web development for open source stuff with ASP, and then got a job somehow doing back end that required front end skills, and picked those up and did front end for like, I don't know, about 8 years. And then Node was released and fell in love like a child, and been doing that ever since.
Node.
I gotta say, you fell in love like a child. Like, why?
Because it's like, if you fall in love like an adult, it comes with all these complications, right?
Sure. But like,
Yeah.
why?
Why Node?
Why Node? Like, of all things.
I don't know, man. I got a pretty varied background, so I've used like insanely strictly typed languages.
Okay. Like what?
Well, like C++, C, for the most part.
Something you
a
appreciate
number of years.
flexibility?
Yeah, man. So like, I started off using VB3. Like, that was my entry into stuff when I was 16, right? So like, I was used to the Wild West where anything is anything. And I mean, even VB had some structure back then, more so than JavaScript. But yeah, I went to strictly typed, and then switched over to .NET and did C# for a long time, strictly typed. So once Node was released, I don't know, man. I just took to JavaScript. It just makes sense to me. I read it like it's a second language. So.
I feel that. I like did. I took Python at school, like pass fail, like CS 101. I did Java at school, like CS 102, and like, and then I tried to learn Android after that, and like never. It just like was I didn't get it. Like it didn't click. And I like then like backed into JavaScript, and it made sense, and then went back to Java. But it was like a circuitous route. Yeah, I feel you on the JavaScript just clicking. But like Node sucks.
Circuitous? Did you just say circuitous?
Like royally sucks. Like to work with day to day. Like how do you deal? Like you write like writing backend and Node is just like a painful exercise. Like
or is it amazing?
I don't know. Like you tell me. Like to me, it's super annoying that like you can't use a type system to validate anything. That's like beyond annoying. But that's just me because that's just like I'm used to like you look at like a Kotlin, which is like TypeScript on acid, and you can use a data class, and you're done. Although now there's interesting things with like TypeScript reflections. Have you played with those? Have you seen like some of the stuff people are doing with TypeScript reflection?
Yeah, it makes me want to pull my hair out because .NET Reflection's been around since 2001, 2002, and it's way better. So I would argue it's better than Java's reflection. But
the fuck is a reflection?
It's like a custom decorator.
Can't come on.
You could people are like bending TypeScript now to look a lot more like Java or Kotlin, I guess. And like one of the things, if you go to this thing like TypeStack, is the thing that the guys are like crushing it. They've got like the type GraphQL and like basically there's like these add-ons to it's not quite like Babel, but it's basically like annotations, like Java like annotations for TypeScript.
Like a decorator, like an
like a decorator, and you can then use it like runtime style if you need to, and it's like fast enough to be runtime. Like so, you can basically like imagine you've got some like class and you annotate its its methods or static attributes on it, or just attributes on the class with decorators that are like string, email, like ID, column, like this random shit, whatever it is, whatever the decorator is. And then you can use that class once it's instantiated, like runtime to validate something. Or if they're like things that these like this TypeScript guys are doing, they're like they'll automatically like cast the request object into the instantiate like some version of your class that's like validated already and fail it, which is how it works in like a real type system.
So you could call it development time metadata that's attached to an object at runtime that you can access at runtime.
Yeah, exactly. Well, that's way more eloquent than what I just fucking described. That's pretty sweet. So yeah, TypeStack. I'll try and pull it up, but like TypeStack on GitHub, they got like all this shit. It's pretty sick.
So like, if you want to, okay, so say like back in the day when open source was not as prevalent as it is now. Like if somebody was writing an app and I wanted to know how that app worked, and I wanted to know like the general structure of it per se, sake of saying, I could open that up in Reflector, which was an app for .NET using reflection, and I could inspect every single method, every parameter, pretty much the entire structure of the application without ever having seen its source code.
It's pretty sick.
Yeah.
Here, I'll pop on my screen. I'll show you guys TypeStack here.
Ken is like lost. We're talking like platform development. And
yeah, it's like TypeStack. They have these guys. The cool ones that are like Java-like, in my opinion.
Does this work with a carousel?
I'm like, any?
So basically, like, I'm gonna toss this up. On the screen here. So like here we're talking about, folks, like basically there's this one. The one that I like is routing controllers. This is like the most Java-like thing. Basically like.
Oh yeah.
This one I really like. I mean, I don't like it. It's just like those Kotlin-like.
Jared loves Kotlin. Noted.
So basically, like, you add this extra stuff to your TypeScript configuration, and like you can do shit like this, where you're like wrapping all of these classes. This becomes like a controller. These are the routes, and then like you basically can like define like what this body is, and then if you type it up with where's the other thing they'll show you? Hold on, this is the interesting thing. This part's actually not that ridiculous. Hold on.
And what's it for?
So here, this is where it gets really interesting. Okay, so you make a class called like get user query, and you add like they have a sister library called class validators and stuff like that, and you like create these classes with these like validation annotations, and then you can just basically like instantiate this class in your routing controller, and it will validate and like deal with the like issues like runtime issues of validation.
Yeah.
Which is like basically how it actually typed like server side.
Where is that actually like handled?
In Express. So like this is just Express.
Oh, okay. All right.
This is just like basically I missed this fun part. So this is like you write these like user controllers or whatever, and then you down here you like just toss it into like this like use Express server thing.
So if you have like is positive and there's a negative, they have like a preset thing like this shit.
Yeah, they have like a preset validator for you that's like all baked in, like runtime.
Well, that's kind of dope.
Yeah, it's kinda
What
like-
does that get do? Is that just like telemetry or what? Like,
No, that's like to define like an HTTP GET request.
Yeah. If you've used Nest.js, they're doing a lot of stuff that's similar to this.
Yeah, Nest.js is another one. We can do that too. We look there too for a sec. That's like more like this is like Nest.js but without the .com. Yeah. Nest.js is like more like frameworky, has like a bunch more solutions.
Yeah, it's back-end Angular basically.
Yeah, backend Angular is basically well put.
I've never heard of this in my
So,
entire life.
Yeah, it's real popular with the Angular crowd. So if you haven't been exposed to that, it's not.
It's like this thing. So they use the same thing. It's like, whoa, cats controller cats.
Yeah, it's super elegant, but it can get to be a rabbit hole. Like the decorators, using the decorators for this can get to be a really deep rabbit hole, and tracing code where it goes where is like.
Oh, I'm sure that's nuts.
Yeah, it is. It is bananas because like certain decorators can have, I don't know what they're called. They're like handlers basically, but certain decorators call out to different methods, and then it's like trying to trace that can get pretty crazy.
Yeah, that makes sense for all it is, but it does provide fix the really annoying part of, I guess, a lot of this stuff too, right?
Yeah, I mean, it can be a really elegant solution. Like when you're writing code, it like semantically, it can make a lot of sense.
Right. So what is your Node.js MVC go-to stack?
Man, I haven't had to write an MVC app,
or just like an API. Like, what's your
What's the new hot shit in Node?
What's the new hot shit in Node? Like, if you're actually writing backends in Node, what's the hot shit?
So it's for me, it's old shit, but it's still hot. I am a big proponent of Koa. Like
Koa.
Okay. Koa is my jam. I discovered Koa about
Koa.
3 years ago, and I have not been able to let it go. Like,
bring the people up to speed if they are not familiar with what Koa is. What is Koa?
So Koa was written by the authors of Express.js. It is basically pure Express. You can think of it like that. So Koa's core is very, very small. It's an HTTP server. That's it. And then everything you want is bolt-on. It's add-on. So like Express comes with everything in a bucket of chicken, right? If you want like, all right, I need an HTTP server. I need it to be very small and fast. There's a number of options out there. But I like Koa because if I need to do like route handling, I use Koa router, and that's it. So you got Koa and Koa router. That's it. And it's freaking.
And middleware in Koa is different than Express. Can you explain that for the people?
So I'm not familiar with the recent updates to Express.
Or like it bounces up and down, right?
No, it's async, and it's a waterfall essentially. You can compose middleware together, so you can have like, oh god, now I'm drawing a blank. But let's say you have like a body parser, and then you have, let's start with a router. You have a router, and you got a body parser. And let's say you want to like decorate the context with some auth. And
that's what I meant. Context, sorry, not middleware. Like the context that bounces around, right?
Yes, context is shared via every middleware, and
it's like all middleware, effectively, right?
Yeah, I mean that's one of the reasons I think it's super elegant. Everything's middleware. Even route handlers are technically middleware, but
it's like a rich fucking community of shit. Like they have everything.
Oh, I mean, in 3-4 years, I've never gone wanting for a plugin. I got really frustrated with. There was a middleware to inject a Webpack bundle and wire up like library load and shit, and I was super frustrated with that and was able to like crank out a Koa middleware for that. And it's like one of my most
so do you write in TypeScript or you write in pure JS?
Mixed. So my philosophy on TypeScript is why put on perfume if I'm going to a dive bar?
Interesting.
Yeah. So when I write like super small stuff, like one-offs, like I'll give you a great example. We wrote a really small plugin for Rollup to process HTML, like injector scripts and stuff. And it's based off of mini HTML Webpack plugin. And Broad Juho is the guy who wrote that. Super nice guy, kind of guided me along the way there.
Juho Vepsalainen?
What's that?
Juho Vepsalainen from React Finland?
That's the one. That dude is a champ. So if he's watching, bro, I love that guy. So yeah, I wrote this plugin for Webpack, for Rollup, and it was like 80 lines of code. I don't need TypeScript.
Yeah, we're not. Yeah, no, I meant like an apps. Like if you're building an app, are you using
For the
TypeScript?
record, I do wear perfume to dive bars.
Yeah, Ken does.
I'm sure you do because you're in
I'm
Jersey,
from New
right?
Jersey, yeah.
Yeah. It's like
Not
mandatory.
cologne before bed.
You get arrested if you don't. So yeah, if I'm writing an app, I don't know, man. It used to be like I used to be very anti-TypeScript, and like the use for it in like really large code bases now. Like what I'm working on now, we've got 20 some odd microservices, and the whole back end is pretty damn big. One of them is basically a monolith that we pretend is a microservice. So it's, I mean, there's like probably 500,000 lines of code, and that would get bananas if you didn't have TypeScript.
Yeah. Okay, we're on the same page. Yes.
Yeah.
Agreed.
So it's Node, right? Like a lot of time I'm writing Node, it'll eat shit. Like, like how do you thread that out? How do you like? What is like your like scale implementation of Node?
Embrace async and use load balancers when possible.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Jared, do you have any input on this? Kotlin master?
Dude, just like, you're just like, it's so much extra work. Like that's the problem. Is that like you do that and then you do like, I don't know, you write a back end and like literally anything else. It's just just not async, and you don't need to worry about it because it's like so. Any other language is probably maybe not Python or Ruby, but like other languages like have solved this problem. Like
JavaScript is based. Okay, JavaScript. What we know now is based on callback hell, right? But like we've transcended that now, so everything is async. But you really have to embrace that paradigm. I think if you're going to be successful with it, you can't like run all of the sync methods and expect everything to be performant as hell. Like embrace the promise chain, embrace async, and once
or you could like work in a different language that just like works like the way you read it top to bottom, and then you don't have to deal with that bullshit. It's kind of nice.
I would need a lot more alcohol than I currently have. Then
I get it. I totally
Speaking of alcohol, drink
I
check.
totally get it. Like nothing's like very few things are more productive, but like, and I would say that just like the I'm biased, but yeah, it's like, yeah, man, whatever your weapon of choice is, and like use that. That's what's up. So let's do a drink check here. We got a little far in the episode without doing
it. On there, boss.
So I'm gonna see if I can.
I can't see it yet. I can't see it. Is that pure vodka?
It's not pure vodka. This is the world's worst sangria. So fun fact: when you live in Florida, you have to get your house tented every 7 years for termites. And this fine structure behind us right here was tented this week, and I had to move all of my alcohol from here to another property, and I have yet to move it all back. So right before the podcast started, I'm scrambling for alcohol, and we had red wine, ginger beer, fresh limes off a tree back there somewhere, and I don't know, some kind of a V8 energy drink that was a mango and whatnot. So I mixed all that stuff together, and that's what I'm sipping on.
Holy shit!
You got your own jungle juice, basically.
Yeah. It's been a while since college, so I'd forgotten that. Good call.
Wow, look at you go. I hope some of that tenting shit got in there. It gets you lit.
Yeah, Vicane straight into the blood, man.
Jenny?
J-Rock, what do you?
I'm having a Lagunitas IPA.
Oh,
which
choice.
One? Just straight up Lagunitas or Lagunitas Talks or Brown
Straight up Lagunitas.
So I have a special pick today, and that is Victory Sour Monkey.
Oh, sour.
Yeah, sour beers are fucking pretty good. I like them. I forget where I really got into it. I had them internationally, but Oregon has phenomenal sours. And I was able to find this locally. This is the locally available sour, and this shit is 9.5%.
Wow.
This shit will put fucking hair on your chest.
Yeah, Ken, I look forward to seeing you pass out after another one.
I've drank 12 of these before. I'm an accomplished booze hound.
No doubt.
But I'm already feeling good. Actually, I had 2 White Claws before this.
Those are empty?
Yeah.
Turn up, Ken.
Yeah, I'm turning my mic up. Yeah, so I had 2 White Claws before this, and then this is pretty much done. I'm gonna open another one with a knife.
You should open it with your eye.
Oh God, don't
stick it right in there.
Yeah, exactly.
Nice.
All right, so
listen, if you can't open a beer with anything with an edge, you're a fucking bitch.
I mean, I just find an edge and then hit it on the side.
there you go.
This is all too. It's all wood and polymer.
So talk to us about the future of Node here, because like it's, I don't know, call me crazy, but it's kind of like stagnated for like a long time.
Yeah.
Like it literally hasn't changed in at least 5 or 6 years.
Also, do you fuck
Maybe
with
longer.
Dino?
Not true. Not true.
Not true? Okay,
no.
discuss.
There's been a lot of language features, but before we go down that rabbit hole, I just want to say that I think the fine folks at TC39 are doing a wonderful job of making sure things go slow enough. Thanks for that, because otherwise, I mean, we've got enough to keep up with than like a sprint of language features. But I think that we will see nodes starting to reside. No, is that the right? What's the word when a tide goes out?
Recede.
I think recede. There we go. Thank you. I
On
think
what
that
grounds?
on the grounds of Deno.
You think Deno is it?
I think that in 10 years, and this is a bold call, and I made shitty ones like Twitter's a fad, right? But I think in 10 years we're going to see Node become kind of like, and this is going to piss a lot of people off, but Ruby on Rails, where it's not the hotness it once was, and I think that Deno is going to take the place there because they're doing a lot of very well thought out things, very smart things. I still don't use it, but I've been keeping an eye on it. And integrated TypeScript, no compiler step, that makes your bundling hell of a lot faster. Standard library takes a lot of the guesswork out of it. Their
Standard library.
Yeah,
and it has no package.json.
Yeah,
you got a question rolling in here.
I know. Jamin Hambone comes out of nowhere with a
Hambone.
Hambone, what up? We got where? Oh, I'll put it on the screen. Oh God, this app fucks so hard. Sorry, Ken.
Yeah, no, it's okay. It's hiding my shitty beard.
Do you want me to answer this, or should we talk about Node for a hot second more?
We'll get into this in a second. Let's just jump into this. Where does Rollup fit into the landscape going forward? Snowpack, Webpack, etc.
So,
Ham man.
I'm biased, not against Webpack, but definitely not in favor of it. I did a stint, about an 18-month stint, heavily involved with the project, and I'm not a fan of the code and how it's put together, the architecture there. It's an amazing product right out of the gate. Right?
Webpack core code base is gnarly.
It is gnarly. That's a great word. You might also say depression-inducing, but there's a lot of smart people that are working on that. So I'm not trying to shit in anybody's cereal, but it's not my favorite project. It does some amazing things. It's really empowered an entire generation of users. So mad props, right?
Okay, so given that like disclaimer, tell us what you actually think.
I hate it. So
okay, good. We're on the
I still maintain some plugins and shit for it, but on the whole, like I get a lot of questions about Webpack 5 compatibility, not for 6 months, like not until 6 months after release, because that's just my policy with majors. At any rate, we're kind of getting off track, but Snowpack, fun fact, use Rollup under the hood. So
yeah, no fucking way, really?
Yeah, and it's extremely successful. So credit to the Snowpack guys. Fred, you're a genius. These guys have taken, pardon me if there's the ladies involved, because there might be, I don't know. We're including them in the guys. The stuff they've done with Rollup, we really hadn't thought of. Not even the core team, we really hadn't thought of. And they're doing great things with it. I think that as far as Node and bundling goes, Snowpack is the future. I think Rollup will continue to exist. A lot of people use it raw. And the advancements that Lucas and the core contributors are making, in addition to the plugin contributors, Rollup is gaining steam like a motherfucker, and we're seeing parity now with development time building, like building for a dev environment being on parity with building for a production environment, And that's one area that historically had suffered. There's a lot of users that use Webpack for like HMR and development and use Rollup for their production builds because it tends to be a lot smaller. So, Webpack 5, I don't know a lot about it. That might be an equalizer, but historically speaking. So, I see Snowpack really as the future hotness. I see Rollup sticking around a long time. And I can see Webpack being a force for another decade easily. I just think it's going to give up some ground to some alternatives.
So I feel like the sentiment that I've seen about this is that Rollup is the shit you want to use for libraries, where Webpack is what you want to use for apps. Weigh in on that.
I think that's changing.
It has changed. It has changed about a year and a half ago. So there was the idea that was the case. And Rich Harris came out. I mean, he's the author of Rollup originally, and then he really
Rich been on the podcast.
Yeah, Rich, come on up.
Rich,
awesome dude to work with. Cannot speak enough props about the folks involved with Rollup. It is such a joy. At any
have
rate,
you met Rich in person?
No, I haven't.
Dude, he fucks.
Fucking man.
Very fucking cool guy.
A legend. A lot of fake news around what he says, but honestly,
a lot of fake news.
Totally full of shit.
I mean, great fucking guy, like in person.
Good dude.
Yeah, I mean, he's
good dude and friend of the show.
Indubitably.
So like when he made Svelte mainstream, and when he got it to be mainstream, whether that was the supporters or contributors or whoever, when Svelte went mainstream, that whole dichotomy of like Webpack is for front end and deployment builds, and Rollup is for your libraries and stuff, that went out the window. And like I said, Rollup's got continually better. We've cemented all of the core plugins into like an official repo. That's helped standardize a lot of stuff, man. And that was a labor of love, and that has just boosted the ecosystem so much. I did a proof of concept at the company I work at right now, and I was able to produce builds that were a third smaller than our Webpack builds. And that's for backend going to serverless. So like, it's not just for a library, it's for apps, it's for front end, it's for everything. There's an awesome dude, and I'm going to butcher his name, but I always call him Bogan. And I can't say his last name.
Oh, I think, yeah.
By Trisound.
Trisound knows what's up. He's optimized all the things. Like, he's optimized Formic. He optimized TSDX. He knows what the deal is with Rollup. Yeah, he optimized Formic. He actually shaking working in Formic first time. He just like took that shit and just was like, and then that ultimately led to the TSDX like being TSDX, because TSDX is just Formic's build. And so like, yeah, he just figured it out. I was like, whoa.
I'm gonna get that guy lit if I ever meet him in person. He's awesome.
Yeah, I owe that dude like several beers.
He was kind of the first person that I spoke with that really harped on like Rollup's detriment, that it could not be run in a dev environment because of the speed of the build.
Yeah.
And Lucas has done amazing things in the recent versions in improving that build time, and then our plugins have gotten better. And I mean, he's to the point where recently, within the last couple of months, he says like it's getting close enough to where we could use it. The only thing we're missing is HMR. And then lo and behold, some frickin' rando comes out of the woodwork and is like, oh, by the way, I've got an HMR plugin in the works. So like it's really
cool.
A lot of traction.
Yeah, it's definitely look, we do with TSDX. TSDX is all Rollup based.
There you go.
And the only thing that's like annoying, which we're like maybe do differently, is the TypeScript story through Rollup is like could be better. But like in the past, we used to do a 2-pass. We used to do first TypeScript, then Rollup.
Yeah.
And that's still like pretty decent guaranteed way of making it work. Yeah. But then like the new hotness, like Vite or whatever it is, so they use ES build to compile TypeScript, and then they still use Rollup to do all the minification and Terser and stuff like that, because that's still bad useful and shit and stuff.
And they've got HMR set up somehow. It's like this mystical thing. I haven't had a chance to look into.
Yeah, Vite is super sick. I gotta look that. Yeah, I gotta check that out. Evan, you again, beast. I just want to say that like Rich Harris like does this shit in his free time. It's like actually remarkable, because he's just like like I don't know. Just like invent an entire like competitive framework to React, and then also invented Rollup, and like
Well, he did it out of necessity, right? Because
Yeah, no, I get it. Like, if you think about those New York Times like pages, like they don't.
You know
need
that
all
he's
this, like, extra
technically a
weight to print that.
journalist,
Yeah, he's technically not technically a journalist. He is a journalist.
I don't buy
He
that.
doesn't look bad,
but
Ken.
like he's not a front end developer. He's a fucking journalist, and he's literally doing front end development to enhance his journalism. Like that is like the least amount of fucks imaginable.
I mean, I'm going to be honest. I'm just an old salty fisherman that happens to do this so I can keep going fishing.
Hey, you know what? Fuck all this nerd shit. Can you tell us about fishing for a second? You're
Yeah,
you're an
fishing.
accomplished and diligent fisherman.
Angler.
An angler, an offshore angler. I caught my first African pompano 2 weeks ago.
The fuck is that?
I don't know what that is, but let's fucking look at that up.
I wish I could can I share a picture of an African pompano?
I'm gonna look it up.
Hey, Jamie, pull up a fucking African pompano.
Yeah, I'm pulling it up.
So it's a super hard fish to catch. It's the best tasting fish in
Why
the
is it so hard to catch?
They're
Big.
extremely thin, and their mouths are their mouths are not suited to most hooks that we're allowed to use in the Gulf.
Is it a bottom feeder?
It's not. It's what we would call a pelagic. They tend to swim around constantly.
Whoa!
Yeah.
It's a big fucking fish.
Damn!
Okay. Now I will preface that I caught what's considered to be a juvenile that was a half-inch under legal size. So if you look up juvenile African pompano, you'll see what I caught.
Wow.
Gorgeous looking.
I'll
fish.
actually. I don't.
So what does it taste like? Like what would you put it on par with?
I couldn't keep it because it was a half inch too short, and
Have you ever eaten it before?
I have.
Half inch too short. Story of my fucking life. Am I right, Chief?
So yeah,
What does it taste like? Is it like a Chilean sea bass type deal or?
Chilean sea bass is garbage. Sorry, bro.
Fuck you! That shit is delicious.
It's a bottom feeder, dude. That's like not a good fish, man.
Yeah, there was like a whole thing in the '80s. You can read about it. Like in the '80s, they were catching a surplus of these things because there was
Patagonian toothfish.
Yeah, it's literally the most. Dude, you saw they changed the name to Chilean sea bass to like make it more like marketable. It's literally like one of the ugliest fish. Like, dude, this fish is gross.
It is delicious.
It's also called sea wolf sometimes.
I could cook shoe leather in a pan and
It's literally like the grossest thing.
What's your
So,
favorite fish to eat?
Mine.
Yeah, like, look at this fish, dude. That's what you're eating. That's
Red
what you're eating.
snapper?
Red snapper all day long, baby. Right out of the
This
Gulf.
is the Chilean sea bass.
From the boat.
I
to
know
my-
they're delicious. Really,
They're
red
gross.
snapper. I have a lot of red snapper in the fridge. When we had that power outage in the summer, I lost a lot of red snapper.
That sucks, bro. They're expensive. I mean, I go out, I catch 30-pound fish. 30-pound fish, you take that to market. At peak this summer, it was $24 a pound.
God damn!
I know. Do the math on that. And
Do you
that went
actually
right
sell the fish that you catch?
oh yeah, dude. I eat what I catch.
Wow.
I've been fishing like that, like cool fishing, like once. Went to Canada, like right between the Canada-Alaska border, and caught like Chinook salmon and stuff like that. And I got I caught a 37.5-pound salmon,
Nice.
and then a 20-pounder. And you can't take them home unless they're over like 18 pounds, I think. But the 30 actually was like 30, maybe it was 39.7 or 37. I don't remember what it was. Anyways, the big behemoth didn't actually taste that great because like when they get that big, they're like that old. They're like kind of nasty. Like they've just been eating stuff for too long. But like the 28-pounder or like whatever was just like I got that filleted. It was the most delicious shit I'd ever eaten in my entire. All other salmon has been ruined since I ate that salmon.
How did you
And the
prepare
other one I
it?
sent in the box. But like, dude, like when you like actually like I don't know when you actually
Was it like mad red or no?
yeah, it was much more red than the farm grown shit. It's like a much like deeper red.
Yeah.
But not like red, but more pink. It's like a deeper pink. I'll show you pictures, but like just absolutely fucking delicious. And like the salmon you get in the store, I'm like bougie about salmon. I'm like, that's like shitty salmon. Well, there's one time, right? Like, but dude, the difference is you're wondering like what kind of like crap they've been feeding us, or like what these poor salmon's lives have been like for them to taste this shitty compared to like deal. So I assume that like the African thing is probably the same situation.
Yeah, for sure.
Andrew, how many fishing poles do you own? Like I understand fishing is like a thing where you have like mad shit.
You get into it. It's like it's sneaky. I have 16 right now, different rigs. So
And
y'all
they're for different fish, or they're for different like biomes
Different-
or habitats and shit. Like,
different fishing scenarios, like inshore, offshore, whether or not we're fishing like in the middle of a depth or if we're fishing the bottom. Do y'all want to see some fish?
yeah,
We got to use
Okay.
some fish.
I'm going to show you some fish real quick.
you got fish.
I got fish. Check it out.
All right, we got fish.
So I'm going to show you. So this is a grouper, and I'd like to zoom in, but it's not letting me. It's a tiny picture. That's a grouper and a kingfish. Let's show you like look at this big dog. That's a red grouper right there. If you've ever had grouper,
Oh shit!
What the fuck is up with its mouth, man?
that's because we pulled it up off 150 feet.
Oh, like
And
the bladder, like it expands too quickly, right?
that's its stomach. Yeah.
The stomach, yeah.
Oh
So-
shit!
Yeah, look at this bad boy. This is my buddy Jacob. This is out on the boat. You can see my plethora of fishing poles. That's a big dog. That's a red grouper. Me and the old man, and that we went out for grouper fishing one day. We took a charter out. That's all
Wow,
the
look at all
grouper.
that.
Yeah, and let me show you the haul. Let me show you the haul from a while back. This is a red snapper trip we took. So you see some mango.
Damn.
There's some minor amberjack there, lane snapper. This big dog down bottom, that's a 36-inch snapper, so a 3-foot snapper. Yeah, there's some big dog there. See that guy?
Oh, there you go.
And this was my 40th, for my 40th birthday. My wife bought me a charter for me and a bunch of buddies. Let me see if I can find a bigger picture than that.
That's a lot of fish.
They're all tiny. What's going on with this? It's so small. I'm sorry, guys. But that's
Android.
it's not Android. Check this tuna out. Look at that bitch.
Whoa.
That's a black tuna, boys.
So, do you fish exclusively on a boat?
Yes.
Like
I do.
out here, right? We do a lot of like surf fishing, like jetty and inlets, and like off the beach. We also do boats, but you folks fish exclusively off of boats.
Yes. I got a boat.
You do freshwater?
No, not since I moved down to Florida. So I grew up in Detroit, and I fished Detroit River, Lake St. Clair, all the inland lakes, and then we go out on salmon charters in like Lake Michigan. And I grew up fishing freshwater, and since I moved down here, I'm like, there's no point.
Right.
You fish saltwater, and like if the fish are biting, bro, I'm not even lying. Like you will sit there for an hour and a half, 2 hours, and every time your line goes to the bottom, you're pulling up a fish. You'll be exhausted after a couple hours. It's just nonstop. And you go out freshwater fishing. Like I lived on a property in Michigan that had lakefront on a rather large inland lake, and you'd go out there for the entire day and catch like 2 bass, and it would be great, but it doesn't hold a candle to saltwater.
Got it. So how did you get into development if you're how does all that tell us about the origin story real quick?
I mean, dude, I was just a snotty kid who was just causing trouble. And like earlier on, I mentioned like I got into it doing AOL programs. So the quick story behind that is I'm like 16 and I'm in a chat room for like Redford where I grew up, right? And it was like the Redford room, and I was talking shit to some dude, and like AOL crashed. And I'm like, well, that sucks. So I get back on, dial back in, and the dude in the room says, so you keep talking, I'm going to boot you again. And I'm like, what? So
Punters.
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 Talk smack to him again, AOL crashes again. So happened a couple more times. I got back in, and I'm like, all right, dude, I'm sorry. Teach me. And he told me that like if you learn how to write these programs, that you could do this to other people.
He
So
slid
there
you a
was,
couple bass files, and that was history.
You send a font size of 9 trillion, and there was a buffer overflow, and it would crash. Yep.
I made several punters back in my day. Now, Jared, you didn't get into coding that early.
No.
You
I
weren't
mean, I
privy
was
to
I was on AOL and all that shit. I just wasn't like into it. Like I did a little bit of front page and stuff like that, but like never serious. I didn't stick with it.
I never took it serious until college. I got involved with alternative Windows shells when Windows 2000 was there before XP. And I ran across, I can't even remember how I ran into that, but I got involved in that in this project called GeoShell, was what I got involved in. And like my career, I can point at a handful of mentors at any given point that were like launching off points for various periods of my career. And the two folks who were running that, one guy was named Jeff, which the project was named after. Another guy named Wingnut, whose name is right on the tip of my brain, but it's been like 20 years. So, but those guys really, those are the ones who like ushered me into C++, got me involved with that. I did their website in ASP. So that was like a little launch into web development. And like that was a pivotal moment for me because it got me hooked. And that was also, I entered an actual university. I got kicked out of 2 community colleges and then followed a girl up to a university, somehow transferred without an ACT or an SAT.
You and me both, buddy.
Yeah, bro, it's crazy. So
Ken prefers to call it going straight to the pros.
Yeah, exactly. So I mean, I got in, and once I got into the computer science programs, I saw what, I kind of got a glimpse of what I could do, and after that, I was just hooked on it. So,
sweet. So, tell me what Tampa's like, man.
Oh, pretty beautiful right now. So we got some.
You got a hurricane come through yesterday, right?
Yeah, well, tropical storm. So you see those clouds up there?
Yeah.
They're moving pretty good. So we still got some outer bands, like the very last outer bands of Tropical Storm Eta. That came through last night. I actually posted a couple YouTube videos on my Twitter feed from the storm last night. So we had
fucking crazy waves.
Yeah, bro. We had a 6-foot storm surge, and we had it's about 70-mile-an-hour wind, so it was pretty nuts. But that was pretty light. Hurricane Irma came right over top of my house, and that was like 120-mile-an-hour winds, and that was nuts.
All right, sick, dude. I mean, well, nice that you're alive.
This is everything down here.
It's good we're not holding this from a fucking boat.
Right, exactly. Let's jump over to picks. Wrap this little puppy up. Every week we take shout outs to our favorite stuff we've seen, whatever.
Cool.
Sir Kenneth M. Wheeler.
Oh, me first.
We'll start with you.
My picks for the week: the Remington R700 precision rifle. I'm kidding. I'm joking. My pick for the week is actually, see this right here?
Yeah. Tell the folks on who are just listening.
I got this hoodie off of the internet. It says get, and then it says return this bread, like we're getting this bread. And I'm a big fan of this hoodie. I don't have the link, but I'll post it later. But they're selling this get this bread hoodie. And
maybe we'll just knock it off and sell it from our store.
I know, I'm all about getting that bread, so I think that's pretty cool.
Because we do have a store. We do have a shop that Undefined.
That's one pick for the week. My other pick for the week is I built a sauna this week. I fucking purchased and assembled a barrel sauna in my yard, and the electricity gets hooked up on Sunday. I want to show you a picture of this. I now have a sauna, and I think saunas are really good. I'm sure everyone who's reasonably Scandinavian would agree.
No one can see.
It's just got to get like the
focus right.
Focus.
Yeah. Well, you look like an idiot, so it's fine.
Yeah. Well, it's a barrel sauna.
Anyway, we believe you. Maybe not really, but okay.
Yeah, saunas are good if you're. So I'll tell you the story behind the sauna, right? So I have a hot tub, but it's connected to my pool.
Nice.
And it's a magical thing. If you get all fucked up on anything, and then you wake up and it's time to work and you're a little shitty, you go in the hot tub for like an hour. And then when you get out, you're fucking good as new. Like I could party until like 4 a.m, sleep until 6, wake up and go in that sauna for a fucking hour, come out and work all day long 100%, right?
You sweat it out, man.
Yeah,
wow.
It's unfucking-believable. So, I live in the Northeast and it gets cold, so they had to close my pool. And because the hot tub is attached to the pool, the same water fucking, hookup and shit, you have to close the hot tub too. And, it was like the last week I was in the hot tub and I am shit-faced. And I mean shit-faced. And I was thinking about the implications of this hot tub closing down and what that would mean for me.
For the winter.
In recovery.
The long draws of the winter.
So I said, fucking forget it, dude. So I ordered this barrel sauna off the internet, man. And fucking the shit just came like a couple days ago and hooked it up. And this is going to be my new recovery vehicle. And I am so fucking excited about it. I went to a sauna in Finland one time. And I'm just gonna elaborate on this for just half a second. And it was wild when I went there. I went with a dear friend and peer, a colleague, and it's nude. You know,
Yeah.
like you're nude with dudes, and you know that's fine. But like, one interesting thing is that over there, you know, no one's circumcised and shit. So I'm like, you know, I stick out like a sore thumb. You know, like you know,
Literally.
you kept the pants on, you would have looked like
It took us
you
exactly
like finished.
46 minutes, but there we got it, folks. You made it to dick jokes.
There we go, 46 minutes. But it was lovely. Like I always like at the sauna at the gym. Like I'd go in like after working out for like 10 minutes and then come out. And like I never really understood the procedure behind the sauna, right? Like you go in there for like 10 minutes, and then you come out and like take a shower, jump in snow or whatever the fuck, and then you like drink and like eat a little, and then you go back in and you rinse and repeat this like 10 times, and then at the end of it all, like you're just like, I got nothing left, and you're like so relaxed. It's the most relaxed you've ever been in your entire life.
Nice. There's
So,
one ridiculous story I'll share about saunas. So in
Go
Japan,
on.
they have a thing called an onsen. It's not a sauna. It's like basically like a it's about like a maybe 3 foot deep cold hot tub. Like it's not like a very hot tub. It's like a colder hot tub.
Yeah,
It's a cold,
like 100 degrees maybe. Like it's not 900 degrees. Like
a lukewarm tub.
yeah, like it's like a more lukewarm. Like, but it's like not like steaming hot. But like it is another nude situation. And but you have to wash yourself beforehand, and they have these little fucking benches that are like a foot off the ground, and like these like handheld shower things. And my brother and I are sitting there next to her, like, how many other fucking dudes have sat on this little fucking bench?
you're sitting there watching your dick and balls off in front of everyone.
We were in Niseko. We were in Japan. We were like there for skiing and shit. So there's night skiing in Japan, and so we're on the lift and stuff. And we're literally like we're on the lift, and there's these like two like the chairlift ahead of us. These like hardcore like boarders, like really like hardcore looking snowboarders and stuff. My brother and I are like great skiers. So we don't give a fuck. Like we literally could not care who the fuck we are on the mountain. But like literally, we get off the chairlift, and like they are still like talking to each other like just after they exit, and they're like, "Okay, guys, plan. Like here's the plan. We're gonna take like 4 more runs. We're gonna like hit the bar, and then we're going to onsen with each other." And my brother and I just thought that shit was the funniest thing ever. We looked at her like, "What?" Like
That doesn't sound away at all, does it?
Have fun, boys.
like that's the like least hardcore thing I've ever heard. And then we're gonna go relax.
Then we're gonna relax our asses off.
Yeah, naked.
Cucumber
with each other.
slices, fucking everything.
We're gonna get naked in the lukewarm tub with each other. Yeah, hardcore, dude. So yeah, that's my like 2 cents on that.
What are your picks this week, Jared?
I guess like my pick this week. Oh, question: are we gonna get? I guess like the Apple. I get my new iPhone tomorrow.
I'm not getting it yet.
I'm in the upgrade program, so like it just comes. Like what?
Yeah.
And then I guess like that new MacBook Air that's more powerful than the 16-inch MacBook Pro.
Is that right?
That seems. I'm of interest. My interest is peaked. I don't know if I'm gonna get it yet, but like
With the
maybe
Apple
I'll wait.
Silicon?
What's that?
Does it have the Apple chip, the M1?
Yeah, the new one, the new Apple
Wow.
Mac Air is faster clocked than the current MacBook Pro 16-inch.
Heads up there, Chief. Docker won't run on it.
Right. So there's that, which means it's useless to me
Yeah.
for the moment.
Yeah.
That's wild. Why is that? Just an
This
architecture
is different bindings and stuff.
The hardware virtualization does not function on the chip yet. There's been a whole big thing today. It was like everybody wanted to rage about it. It was really fun.
Like,
Oh, man.
like 30
Well, okay,
seconds
well,
ago,
we're
I
here
felt
for-
very small dicked with my 16-inch MacBook Pro, and now I feel very large dicked with my space.
Huge. Very large.
Just very, just
You should feel very girthy right now.
All right.
I feel
Andrew,
very.
what are your
good.
picks of the week?
So I've been kind of distracted. We're trying to finish up a house renovation and get my very young family back into it. So I haven't been paying attention to the trends as of late. But I will offer something up since both of you guys are drinking different beers. To anybody listening or who happens across this later, I am putting out an offer there to send you beer from Tampa. Tampa has amazing beer, and I would say better than Michigan, who is always, high up there in the.
I have been friends with you for 4 years, and you never sent me Tampa beer.
You never asked.
I never knew.
Well, now you know. So I'll send you some, Ken. I'll get you a little care package going. Some stuff that'll make you think that you never drank beer before. But that'll be my pick. So I would say, from Florida man, take it from the wild Florida man that we got some good beer down here, and hit me up on Twitter or whatnot, and I will arrange to send you some good beer from here.
Sick.
What a gentleman.
All right, folks. Well, thanks for coming on. Andrew, thanks a lot for joining us today.
Andrew,
and,
where can folks find you on the internet?
Yeah.
At Shellscape. SHELLSCAPE. And if you want to know,
that's on Twitter, that's on GitHub, that's everything.
It's on Twitter, GitHub, and then shellscape.org. So my email address is not private. It's Andrew at
Nextdoor.
I am not on Nextdoor because I'm not a lunatic, but
What's the farm dating site?
Oh, Farmers Only. Yeah, you can find me on there. It's got a great set of
Yeah, exactly. Well, anyways, folks, thanks for joining. Follow us on the interwebs at the Undefined.io, or check out the site undefined.fm. For the Undefined podcast, I'm Jared Palmer.
And I'm Ken Wheeler. Fuck you guys. Every single one of you. Fuck you.